All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into it. What is good? What is good? What is good? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again. Interesting video. Foreigners, you have been warned. This just goes to show you the story that we're going to talk about today, that even if you do date abroad, there is still the potential that you could deal with real world Western issues. And in today's story, we're going to talk about one of our fellow brethren, Ghanaian brethren, foreigner brethren, by the name of Abraham, I want to say it's Akpey, A-K-P-E-Y. Now, he is a young brother by the age of 26, and he was arrested in Jensen, General Santos City, for those that don't know what Jensen is, because he was accused by his Filipino wife of acts of violence towards her and her kids, which goes against, and I quote, Section 5A and 5I of the Republic Act of 2262, or the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. Now, this brother apparently left the country, or I'm sorry, I believe that if you read the story, it's already there. You don't have to listen to me. You can read it yourself. Or I'm not going to go through it and tell you everything verbatim. I'm just going to give you the overview. In this particular story, apparently when the charges were brought about by the wife, he apparently went to Manila, and then I don't know how long he stayed away, but he ended up coming back to Jensen, and this brother got arrested at the airport. There was a whole task force waiting for him when he got off the plane. So he's being held. Not sure as of the time of this video is being made. He may have already been released, but he's being held on, I think, a bond of 74,000 pesos. Yeah. And I find these particular stories to be of the most interest to me. I spoke to you guys briefly in a live stream about the bipolar nature of Filipino women and women in general. And I believe that this particular story, in my personal opinion, constitutes just that. Now, before we get into the details or the meat and potatoes of what I'm getting at, there are a few things that I need to make noteworthy, in my opinion. Number one, I am not saying that this woman is lying about being beat on or being abused by her husband just because he's a foreigner. I'm not taking his side. Nor am I taking her side in believing that that is actually true. Because in hindsight, what we're hearing and all that we know of the story is that she just made a complaint. There was never any evidence mentioned that there were, let's say, abusive markings or scars or anything to prove abuse had taken place. All that we know is that a complaint was made and this man got arrested. So, gentlemen, as I say, if that doesn't sound a lot familiar, sound a little bit familiar in situations that we heard of from our own particular westernized countries, I don't know what is. I can remember a girl who reported her husband beating on her and her kids because he got another woman, or he was sleeping with another woman, or let's just say he got into a new relationship. They were separated, I assume, at the time, but he ended up getting into a new relationship, and this girl reported him for beating on her and the kids and stuff, all because he was in a new relationship. They love you one minute, they hate you the next. This is the bipolar nature that really I was speaking of in that particular live stream. And it's scary that all it takes is an accusation and it can ruin everything that you have going for you. I could use my own situation as an example. I pray it would never happen, but let's say the mean one said Doc did something bad to her. That's it for me. Not only does it ruin your reputation, ruin your image, ruin how people think about you, but it could get you kicked out the country as a worst case scenario, or even the worst case scenario, get you put in jail in the Philippines as a worst case scenario. You see the things that could happen as a result of he say, she say. Now, I've known a lot of brothers and a lot of YouTubers who have said this, and I'm going to say it to you too. There's very little defense that we can mount for ourselves when these particular situations come about. I don't care if you're black, don't care if you're white, don't care if you're yellow, don't care if you're brown, don't care if you're purple, don't care if you're blue. I don't care what part of the world you come from. There is very little defense or offense that you can mount when these accusations are made. And unfortunately, what is it, guys? His word against hers. What does that mean? Guess whose side they're more than likely going to take? And if you need me to give you the answer, you have not been paying attention. So, foreigners, yes, you have been warned. You can deal with some of the same situations that any man would deal with in a Western country dealing with Western women when it comes to Filipinas. Now, let's not sit there and say that all women are alike in this regard and this, that, and the other, because again, we've talked about the more positive characteristics that, certain women have over certain other women. Filipinas more specifically. But there's always a downside to everything. And the fact that a mere complaint could ruin everything that you stand for, and at the very least cost you everything that you worked for. And the thing is, when I say cost you, this man got a 74,000 peso bond. He has to pay that. Somebody's got to pay it. That's money out your pockets. Let's say you need to hire a lawyer. Shout out to all of my upstanding citizens and upstanding lawyers in the country. But let's be honest. Not all of them are upstanding. Trust me. Y'all know about foreigner tax. You know about foreigner pricing. You don't think that lawyer's going to probably rake you over the coals unless you know them personally? I want you to note that as well. So not only does it cost you your reputation in hindsight, think about the monetary means it's going to cost you as well, just to either get this dealt with or taken care of. Who knows what her end game is? You got to understand, that's wifey. That's his Filipino wife. Apparently, it was abuse towards her son. So it's in my assumption that that's not his kid. Or at least that's what the claim is, alleged, that he abused like a son, her son. But I want you to think about everything that you stand to lose. Now, a lot of people would be like, well, Doc, that's why I don't get in relationships. That's why I don't do this. That's why I don't do that. But ladies and gentlemen, you're missing the point. You don't have to be married to a Filipina to go through somebody saying something or saying that you did something to them. You can have a one-night stand with this girl, and if she doesn't like how the situation ended, she could call the PNP on your ass with the quickness. You understand? So even if you want to live that player for life lifestyle, it could still come back to bite you in the ass. And in the video, Doc told y'all, I said something very, very, very important that I think that a lot of people glossed over. And I hope that now this will tell you why I am the way that I am. Every situation has to end on a positive note, regardless. Every situation I'm in has to end on a positive note. I don't want anything coming back to bite me in the ass, okay? Not when I'm trying to move forward, not when I'm trying to build something, not when I'm trying to do something. Do I want somebody to come out the woodworks with some nonsense later on in life? You feel me? So, not saying that it can't happen regardless, but I'm just saying every relationship or every situation that I've ever been in has to be left on positive terms. I don't know, even if that means parting ways with a little bit of better money. Regardless of the situation, it has to be left on positive terms. I've told y'all that. And I'm praying that you guys start to feel just a little bit more why I am the way that I am, why I do the things that I do. Doc is all about covering his ass. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it as real as we possibly can, because situations like this can occur. Love the mean one to death, man. She's a ride or die, 100%. I'll never do anything to hurt her. I'll never physically put my hands on her. I'll tell you that shit right now. It's not my style. Never has and never will be. I've never done that to any woman. I never will. The accusation alone could kill me. But I know that something really has to be going on mentally sometimes with somebody to say that about their husband or significant other, because you're not taking into consideration what it's going to cost you as a woman. Filipinas, I want you to listen to this part. I know it's a little bit longer, but this is your time to shine right now. This is your moment. This is your segment. You're not understanding what it's likely going to cost you financially, or the money that's being taken away from your partner, whoever you're dealing with at the moment, husband or whatever. All the money it's going to cost him to get out of jail and do and fix everything that you fucked up on. Okay, so let's say, for example, she takes back or recants the statement and say it didn't happen or whatever it may be, or she finds a way to get out of it and she doesn't want to press charges. Okay, let's just say that. Let's say she don't want to press charges. He already spent the $74,000 just to get out of jail. It's already costing him. I want you to think about that. And who am I to say that those charges are even going to get dropped like that? Who am I to sit there and say, well, just because it happened and she said it didn't happen, or she wants to drop charges, don't want to press charges, who's to say that there's still not going to be a cost for him on the back end outside of the bond he had to pay? Who's to say he's going to get that money back? I mean, there's so many things that women don't take into consideration when they do these things to the men that they actually want to be with. And I really hope that you pay attention to that. There is detriment in situations like that. And literally, even in the article, you'll read it, it's written right there at the bottom. He said, and I quote, not verbatim, that, you know, his wife does have some mental issues and some mental problems. It's a scary, scary world out there, ladies and gentlemen. I could tell you right now everything that I've learned, but it ain't gonna make no sense. All I could do is tell you this. End your relationships on positive notes, man. Always on a positive note. Everything that you possibly can to prevent something like this from happening, I encourage you to do it. That's all I'm saying. I don't even have to talk about coming out of pocket money and all that stuff. Just end it on a positive note to avoid these types of confrontations or things that you don't need in your life. All right? These inconveniences in your life, you don't need them. And that's been my note for the day. That's been the moral of the story, man. You guys should check out the article of this linked in the description area below. Tell you everything that you need to know. I should have said this at the beginning, but big shout out to my man who sent this to me in my email. Goes by the name of Blackman UK. Appreciate the story, man. So again, I hope and pray that you guys take heed, take warning. It can happen to you anywhere, anytime, and with any female. Now again, should that scare you? Nah. But your spider senses need to be tingling at all times. If baby girl is exhibiting behavior unbecoming of a woman, behavior that might say, this bitch might be crazy. Y'all say it in the comment section. You better run as far away from that chick as humanly possible, all right? So, this has been a good doc, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed. With that being said, good doc is officially out. At least nako, paalam, which means I'm going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.